storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
Storm Chasers, we got to get into the story of an elderly man giving his wife AIDS, and she thought it was cancer, and it ended up taking her out of here. But he has been charged, I believe, with well, we'll say red rum for the algorithm. Okay, so you want to go right ahead and play the video here. Fair use, fair use. And I'm gonna put it. Let me do 1.25. There we go.
With killing his wife, not allegedly with a gun or a knife, but by giving her AIDS.
Fox 5's Kevin Stewart joins us live from the Rockdale County Jail in Conyers with the story. Kevin?
The victim here was diagnosed with cancer, but soon doctors realized she had more than cancer. She had AIDS, and that's why her husband is here at the Rockdale County Jail. This is Denise and Cleveland Brody.
So damn, did she have cancer and AIDS? Or can AIDS patients also look? Oh, okay, let me just listen to it.
Married in 2014 after meeting at a Christmas party 2 years prior. These were better times.
And she loved this man. She really, really loved him.
But Cleveland Brody is now accused of violating his wife's trust, the family's faith. Rockdale County deputies have charged him with murdering Denise Brody, knowingly infecting her with HIV. His status completely unknown to her. She died in 2022 at 65.
And how long did she live after diagnosis?
2 days.
She put him out when she found out he was cheating on her. And she loved him so much that she actually allowed him to come back, asked him to take a test because he's out there. And he was smart enough to know that it would not get picked up.
Prosecutors first charged the husband in 2023 with only reckless conduct HIV, but the family pushed for murder and did the detective work to share with authorities.
Get evidence of the fact that he had it before he met my mother.
2 years later, now her stepfather is charged with felony murder.
Because at any time he could have told her, I have this, and she gave her the right to make the decision on whether or not she wanted to stay with him.
And one of the reasons why this is so tough for the family is because AIDS is no longer a death sentence. They're encouraging people to be tested for all STDs. Reporting live in Rockdale County, Kevin Stewart, Fox 5 News.
Wow, just such shocking details coming.
Wow. I mean, here, I'm going to play it one more time for the people that's just coming in.
And is behind bars tonight with killing his wife, not allegedly with a gun or a knife, but by giving her AIDS.
Fox 5's Kevin Stewart joins us live from the Rockdale County Jail in Conyers with the story. Kevin?
The victim here was diagnosed with cancer, but soon doctors realized she had more than cancer. She had AIDS, and that's why her husband is here at the Rockdale County Jail. This is Denise and Cleveland Brody, married in 2014 after meeting at a Christmas party 2 years prior. These were better times.
And she loved this man. She really, really loved him.
But Cleveland Brody is now accused of violating his wife's trust, the family's faith. Rockdale County deputies have charged him with murdering Denise Brody, knowingly infecting her with HIV. His status completely unknown to her. She died in 2022 at 65.
And how long did she live after diagnosis?
2 days.
She put him out when she found out he was cheating on her. And she loved him so much that she actually allowed him to come back, asked him to take a test because he's out there. And he was smart enough to know that it would not get picked up.
Prosecutors first charged the husband in 2023 with only reckless conduct HIV, but the family pushed for murder and did the detective work to share with authorities.
Get evidence of the fact that he had it before he met my mother.
2 years later, now her stepfather is charged with felony murder.
Because at any time he could have told her, I have this, and she gave her the right to make the decision on whether or not she wanted to stay with him.
And one of the reasons why this is so tough for the family is because AIDS is no longer a death sentence.
Wow. So, I mean, listen, yeah, that's in Atlanta. Apparently they lived in Conyers, and I can't think of what part of Atlanta that is. I feel like I looked at places out in Conyers before. I think it's where T.S. Madison used to live. Anyway, with that being said, maybe he already had it, maybe he didn't. Let's go. I mean, they know that, but what I'm saying is maybe he got it from a woman or a man. That's what I meant to say. Let's go over to the Neighborhood Talks article that they did on it. And let me see. All right, so in 2023, wow. So prosecutors say he had been HIV positive since at least 2006 and had been taking meds for it the whole time. Though he was taking care of himself, he never shared the information with Denise. There is no way he was taking his meds and still gave her HIV, though. That's the thing. That's the thing. Child, I just had a full panel dub. Been celibate 2 years. Ain't doing nothing until I see on my chart. I don't blame you, Rashonda. That's my thing. Like, if he was truly taking his meds, he would not have passed it on. So he was not taking his meds. Interesting. Let's see. What else? If he would have at least gave her that one courtesy to tell her to test herself, she could have gotten treatment. It's almost like God kept her alive so we could know what was really killing her. Wow. Ain't that something? But she loved that man. And you know what's crazy too? Like I said, whether you taking meds or not, you definitely need to be honest about your status. He should have been upfront. I don't know why people who are positive feel like I guess they feel like if they got it, then they just want to give it to you as well. It's a shame. But just like we educate young people, middle-aged people, we also have to educate the elderly. Like a lot of times the elderly, they'll be like in these nursing homes, these retirement communities, you know, they out doing their thing, you know, if they're widowed or single or whatever. And they don't think about using no protection because, well, they can't get pregnant. So they just doing them, not realizing that HIV is still a very real thing. And there are a myriad of other STDs that if a person gets and they're 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old, they might not be able to fight off. And it took them up out of here. How old was this man? Is the woman still alive? No, she's deceased. The man, it doesn't say how old he is, though, Cleveland Brody. Let me see. When I go to people.com, let's see. Denise is 65. It doesn't say how old he is, though. Oh, he is 62. And he was charged with 3 counts of reckless conduct after other women came forward. So he had been spreading that shit knowingly for the longest. He had been spreading that shit recklessly and knowingly for the longest time. Wow.
What's in a name? With Cotton Patch's $9.99 Texas value meals, everything.
Like, how is this even our life?
Life these days
She's supposed to be here right now.
looks a lot like reminiscing her sisters, Tammy Hammonds and Karen Young.
I like that one too.
In 2017, doctors first diagnosed their mom, Denise Brody, with breast cancer. She went into remission, but 2 years later, the cancer came back, this time attacking her lungs.
The decline was so rapid.
After years of on and off hospital extended stays and chemotherapy, the cancer had cleared. But Denise somehow was still sick. The family had new doctors run new tests again for everything. Karen recalls doctors determining her 65-year-old mom was dying, but not from a malignant mass.
Then they end up calling us, telling us that she's not going to beat this. You need to take her off the ventilator and she's not going to make it because she has HIV, she has AIDS.
Denise died April 2nd, 2022. Based off her blood work,
She was in full-blown AIDS after having untreated, undiagnosed HIV for at least 5 years.
the person who gave it to her was not unknown. Criminal records allege it was her husband, Cleveland Brody.
Mr. Brody, you are charged at this time with the sole count of reckless conduct, HIV-infected person. It is a felony charge. Would you like the court to read your warrant aloud?
The warrants read, this was no accident, instead intentional. Detectives claim medical files reveal Brody knew of his status since 2006. The charging documents cite Brody did endanger by consciously disregarding a substantial and unjustifiable risk that his act or omission of not telling his wife his status resulted in her death.
How long have you lived in Conyers?
You know what's crazy? When she kicked him out for cheating, she should not have allowed him to come back. And this is also why, ladies, I tell y'all, oh yeah, he don't look sympathetic at all. Oh, typical narc. He doesn't give a damn. why he looks healthy, why he infected all these women, and often everybody reacts to things differently. It says he's taking his medicine, but ain't no way he take his medicine consistently. But nonetheless, he walking. Damn, it kind of make you think, like, why God, like, why the lady got to lose her life, but he walk around looking relatively normal. Nonetheless, ladies, this is also why I tell y'all, don't let these niggas talk y'all into these relationships where, you know, they cheat on you and it's open, and just accept it, because this can be a very real consequence. And not just necessarily HIV, but all sorts of STDs and bacterial infections and things that can really affect your life for the rest of your life. Yeah, she already had cancer, but the HIV sped that shit along. And she was 65, so she wasn't able to fight that off. I agree, so she should have stood on business and moved on with her life. Yep, but guess what? Let's keep it real. She was being a mammy. No disrespect to the dead. She's being a mammy. She comes from that generation where they accepted that shit no matter what, and they put their self-worth in having a man. And there you go. That's a good point, Crystal. Coffee and Donuts said that's why I don't look at marriage as a blessing. Right. Lucy said this, and people look at me crazy when I say I'm celibate and will continue to be. It's the best way to be. Ain't no wrong with that. Let me tell you something. I think we live in a society where we're all, not all, but we are way too hyper-sexed, over-sexed, and I think it's been a detriment to our society. I think it's been a detriment to our mental health, a detriment to our social lives. I think I think everybody needs to be having less sex. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think less sex is okay. I think you don't have to go stick everything that's moving. And even though we live in them times where people, you know, like to push that, I just don't think you need to do it. Yep, Chris, and sex is overrated. It's, you know, it's a biological function and urge that we get, really, because it's meant for, that's how we reproduce. But you'll get the drive and the urge to go do it, and then you do it and be like, what did I do that for? Like, Bless one said, men do show infection. I have 3 male friends that was taken out with HIV. Let's see. Test people before you do it. It's a good point. Definitely out of control sexually. Too much focus on sex. I agree. Corone said, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Or Corone said, I'll stick to doing myself. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Well, let's finish this out. Let me go back. Here we go.
10 years.
10 years. Inside the courtroom on July 11th, Denise's entire family anxiously watched the bond hearing.
I am going to deny bond, finding you a risk of flight.
Outside the courtroom, they breathe a somber sigh of relief for a case that only came after the family's investigation led to Rockdale County Sheriff's Office doing its own.
I do not think my mother was the first.
As the hearing wrapped for one charge, prosecutors filed another. New warrants detail a second victim just accused the 61-year-old of not disclosing his status and having unprotected sex with her. What's more, the sheriff's office says investigators have reason to believe there were other victims. If Brody were convicted of felony reckless conduct HIV-infected person, he would only face up to 5 years. It used to be up to 10 years, but advocacy groups like George Equality fought to change the law last year with SB 164 to decriminalize and destigmatize HIV status. But the group argues this new law wasn't intended for cases like Brody's, who police say knew his status and had criminal intent.
So the particular instance in which someone would be arrested and charged with HIV transmission without disclosure was very, very rare.
George Equality's HIV policy manager and former prosecutor.
And you know what's crazy? In certain states, I think like in California, the person don't have to tell you at all, I don't think. Because it's not, once again, not considered a death sentence, even though that's not true, because it just killed this lady. But yeah, I believe they look at, like, they look at HIV now like a person having diabetes, you know. But yeah, he probably was sleeping with prostitutes. I think so too. Might not have been men, but he was. If he didn't have nowhere to stay and he was on the streets, yeah, he was. Yeah.
Prosecutor Chauncey McGathery maintains most often HIV spreads because people do not know their status. Georgia ranks second in the country for new HIV diagnosis. The metro area is of specific public health concern. Fulton sits at the 6th highest U.S. county for new cases.
People aren't dying from HIV and AIDS. Like, this is not a death sentence, especially in 2023.
Absolutely. And that's critical information.
It did not have to be a death sentence for Denise either.
If he had just gave her that one courtesy, just to tell her that, to test herself for it, and that could be it, and she could have gotten treatment.
So sad, so unfortunate. Wow. They said that new STD is fled. Oh my God, what? Okay, that's enough of that. We'll say that for another video. Also, before I go, make sure y'all are subscribed to StormMonroeTV.com. StormMonroeTV.com. We're live Saturday, back with the scripts. I got to do my Will Smith story. I got a lot of stories I got to update y'all with that we cannot put on the YouTube. All right, like, comment, subscribe, share if you care, and I will catch you all.
It's Storm Show. Ay, it's Storm Show.